and I returned home rejuvenated and ready to help my husband.
Now maybe you'll come with us down to Texas next month.
Sure I will, Chuck. I'll campaign with you wherever you want. On November 10th, we spent the weekend at the newly finished home of our own, Wexford in Virginia. This was to be our home away from the White House for the rest of this term and for the next 4 years. Then on November 13th, Chuck, Caroline, John, and I spent a relaxing afternoon watching kilted bagpipers perform on the White House lawn. The next night, Adlai Stevenson, our UN representative, came for dinner. He had been spat upon and threatened by a mob in Dallas just weeks ago because of certain stances of his in the UN, and he begged us not to go to Dallas. Well, that weekend I spent horseback riding in Virginia, while Chuck went with friends to Palm Beach in Florida.
We watched the firing of a Polaris missile, and then some football. And then after dinner, we sat around and we started singing my favorite songs. In fact, that night, I even got up and I did a solo of a rather popular Broadway tune from the late 1930s, the September Song. Oh, it's a long, long way from May to December, and the days grow short when you reach September, and the days dwindle down to a precious few. September,
November 21st, Houston, Texas.
And when we arrived, I asked one of my aides how the crowd looked, and he told me, well, Mr. President, your crowd this year is only just about the same as last year. But 100,000 more people have come out to cheer for Jackie. I needed Texas in 1964, and the party there was being split by a little feud between Senator Yarborough and Governor Conley, and one of the purposes of this trip was just to see if we couldn't mend a few fences. So from Houston, it was on to Fort Worth, and then into Dallas, where Adelaide had his problems. The Dallas Morning News ran a full-page ad denouncing the nuclear test ban treaty. And I said to Jackie, we're heading into nut country today. You know, somebody wanted to shoot me from a window with a rifle. Nobody could stop him, so why worry about it? But when we did arrive in Dallas on November 22nd, the crowd that greeted us there was huge and happy. Well, Jackie, this trip is turning out fine. I mean, here we are in Dallas, and I think everything in Texas is going to be fine for us.
We were riding in a convertible. It was hot. I saw this tunnel ahead, and I thought, oh, it'll be cool in the tunnel. Jack raised his hand to wave to a little boy. Then the gunshots. His last expression was so neat. You know that wonderful expression he would get when asked a question about one of the 10 million pieces of the workings of a rocket. You know, just before he answered, he looked puzzled, and then another shot. I've got his brains in my hands. Oh my God, what are they doing? Oh my God, they've killed Chuck. Chuck, can you hear me? I love you, Chuck. We rushed to the hospital. They wanted to keep me out of the operating room. No, I want to be there when he dies. There was a sheet over Jack. His foot was sticking out of the sheet. I took his foot and I kissed it. Then they pulled back the sheet. His mouth was so beautiful. His eyes were open. They found his hand under the sheet, and I held it the whole time the priest was saying extreme unction. My husband was dead.